Hi gamers, this is your Crazy Devil, and I'm going to talk about a topic that's been kind of going around YouTube, and that is, the topic is your top 5 role-playing games. That's a very valid topic, and that's something that I'm quite passionate about, and I'll be glad to talk about. The problem is, I can't break it down to 5 role-playing games. I, I, I I just can't do it. I mean, the closest I can really come up with is my top 10 role-playing games. So I'm going to try to talk about this here. Now I'm going to go from, now you got to understand though, I'm going to go from 10, being the least, even though it's in the top 10, these are all top 10 of my favorite, okay? So, but these top 10, they're going to probably switch back and forth as time goes on, or just in the mood that I'm in. So I'm going to talk about my top 10 role-playing games. And so the first one I'm going to talk about is number 10, White Wolf Street Fighter. Now, I know quite a few of you probably don't like White Wolf Street Fighter. I think it's just an awesome game. My problem, part of my problem is I don't feel like the White Wolf system really utilizes the Street Fighter game. There's just too many, it just doesn't fit very well. Now, this isn't a game that you add to your vampire, campaign or your werewolf or whatever. This is just, you're playing a fighter and you're just role playing this fighter out. Now, it gets a little kind of corny when you're doing like these crazy adventures in between going to the arenas. But when it just comes to the arena combat, I think this is probably one of the best fighting style game that there is. And there's sometimes I just want to fight, and sometimes the player just want to fight, and so when we're doing that, we'll run Street Fighter. I think this is a great game when it comes if you just want to role play like a professional in wrestling style, and you're not afraid to have like your characters throw a fireball or something like that, because it does get crazy like that. But with this, you can play. You don't even need to like Street Fighter style characters. If you can go more of a Mortal Kombat style, and this be perfectly will fit in. Now the reason why it doesn't really quite fit into your classic style of White Wolf is because these are a little bit more higher scale. They have much more health, so it can give you more of a fighting feel. But it pretty much uses all the attributes and skills of the previous game. Um, so when it comes, I just kind of almost wish they would have used their own system. That's my feeling behind it. However, I know the Street Fighter book, because of that, later edition came out with the White Wolf's combat book, which was pretty much the Street Fighter book, but it allowed you to use those fighting maneuvers and styles for your more of your classic game, because the game just didn't really fit with the rest of the stuff. But I still think it's a very great role playing game and fun to play. Now number 9 is Tunes. Tunes, if done correctly, it can be a lot of fun. When done incorrectly, man, it's just it just gets a little crazy. I mean, for instance, if you want to run Tunes but you want to do a superhero game, you can't do a more of just a serious type of game. You can't do like an X-Men style game with this. You got to do more of like a Darkwing Duck style with it. You got to when you do like just a story, you got to do more of a tailspin type of story. You can't be as serious with it. We did like a Pinky of the Brain story. It was probably one of the best stories we ran. It was great. It's a really fun game when you're not really taking it 100% seriously. But it's definitely up there on my top 10, and it's a lot of fun. Number 8, I definitely would say would be Chill. Now, Chill, anyone who's not familiar with that, it's kind of like, I mean, you definitely, when you're reading it, you could tell it was almost like it created the White Wolf company. It was like when White Wolf was first starting, they were like, hey, we want to be like Chill, but this is where we want to improve on. So I would definitely say, I don't think that's what really happened. However, it kind of gives that feel. I mean, definitely hands down, White Wolf Game Company is better, in my opinion, than Chill, but it's definitely chill is definitely fun. It's definitely fun to play. You play more of a human style character. You can play like your vampire. You can play your werewolf in it, but when you play that kind of stuff, while you're powerful, you're very restricted. I mean, you get staked, you're dead. I mean, you get shot by a silver, you're pretty much your toast. But so your Achilles heels really affect you. However, you're not really supposed to be playing it as a supernatural. That's just supposed to be your added bonus. You're really supposed to be playing like a human that's taking on this type of stuff. In fact, you're supposed to be like part of like a group called Save, and this Save like goes out and like hunts this type of stuff. Now, I'll be quite honest. I was playing Chill for years, and I had no idea of this even group. We weren't even using the group. As a player, I didn't even know this group even existed until I bought my own book. So you definitely don't have to do it like that. You definitely don't have to do it like an Angel style game, but it would be great for that style of game. So Chill is definitely up there. Chill is, in my opinion, I only recently purchased the Chill line, and I probably got like 6 books for Chill, and I've only recently purchased that. I bought it like last time I went to Gen Con, but it was the game that I always wanted to get. I just never got around to getting, or I could never really find it. Number 7, I would definitely say, would be Blood Shadows, the West End game classic master book series. Now, they did make a Blood Shadows, D6 version, which was fine, which was absolutely great. That D6 is a great system to use, and it, worked well with the Blood Shadows. However, they only came out with 1 book for that. And I don't know how you can compare 1 book with the Master Book series, which has got tons of books. And we're not just talking about Blood Shadows. There's other books that you can incorporate in that. So, I mean, Blood Shadows, in my opinion, it has one of the coolest magic systems to use. I know a lot of players and a lot of storytellers don't like it because the magic system has a lot of feedback. I mean, it can hurt you as much as it hurts your enemies. So the magic, but I like that. That's the part that I liked. I thought it had one of the coolest magic systems, and I thought it really worked for the classic Master Book series. So with Blood Shadows, it's just you're playing kind of like a pulp style of is world where magic is just everywhere. Everyone, maybe not everyone knows it, but it's in part of the world. Like there's no real style masquerade involved in it. I mean, it could be something where you could walk in a police station and see a full-blown werewolf, howling for his pack mates. I mean, it's a cool world. It's a really cool idea. They made a few movies, very, I would say not based on it. I would say that actually Blood Shadows stole the ideas from these movies, but still, I mean, it is a kind of a cool concept, a kind of a cool world. And I definitely am going to do later reviews on this. So number 6, I would definitely say would be Deadlands, the classic and basically the whole Savage World series. Now, at this point, I would actually say Deadlands Classic wouldn't even be in my top 10 list. The only reason why I can't even brought it in is because it's got one of the coolest damage style systems. It's got the best way that I've ever really seen, and probably the more fun way I've ever seen health being run. And it's got a lot. I gotta give it a lot of props. I mean, the Savage World pretty much took a series, like they took their game mechanics right from the Deadlands Classic book. So while I don't really run Deadlands Classic more, I'll definitely play it. The Savage World, I mean, a lot of people call it generic. I don't really call it generic. It's just got a lot of different modules to it. So if you're playing Savage World Pirates, it's a really good pirate game. If you're playing, Savage World, like, I don't know, you mean zombies or something like that. I know they got a Savage World Zombies. They got Savage World, they got Savage World all kinds of stuff. They got Savage World Deadlands, which is, I think, great. It doesn't have that. The only problem is it doesn't have that damage style of system that's used. It's got more of a generic style. But the Savage Worlds series, in my opinion, is really good, and it's really inspired me. So now number 5, I would say, is Star Wars West End Games. Now, while there's been other Star Wars games like the D20, and they got, I think the Saga series. While those are really great games, and they really do, they're great updates on stuff when it comes to the Jedi's and stuff like that. I still much prefer the Star Wars West End games. I mean, it's just an amazing game. I mean, at one point, West End was just one of the power games out there. It was just one of the power game companies. I would probably say just under TSR. I mean, it was a big company, or at least it seemed like it was a big company. You couldn't go anywhere without, when it comes to our hobby, without involving West End games. Now, number 4, I would say Pathfinder. I'm not a huge fan of D20 games. However, Pathfinder has really drawn me in, and I love the whole Pathfinder society, and I love the things that are connected to the Pathfinder type stuff, like such as Hero Lab. I really like Hero Lab, and they do a great job with making Pathfinder characters. Pathfinder Society, it's just amazing. It's a lot of fun, and it's a good twist for the Dungeons and Dragons. Number 3, and this is really a two-parter because I can't really decide which one I like better, and that is just the White Wolf Classic and the New World of Darkness. While I do feel that New World of Darkness has really updated rules, the problem is in some areas where they fix the rules, they have also caused more problems. Such as, if you want to really cause a problem on the forums, just write up, hey guys, could you explain to me on the New World of Darkness forums, could you explain to me how headshots work? And you will start an argument just on headshots, because where in some areas they fix the problems, they also cause other problems as well. While I really do like the New World of Darkness games, I kind of do feel it is an advance over the classic. I have a much more memorable stories, and much more memorable memorable memories, I guess you could say, of this role playing the classic, and I still role play the classic today. So it's kind of hard which ones I like better. I'm just gonna kind of throw them all together. I think just White Wolf is one of the my opinion, just one of the better companies out there, and I really enjoy their products, and they're the ones I really do look as much updates on as I can, and try to find out what they're doing new, and I think that they are with they're just gonna go a lot more places than what people probably expect them to do, but number 2, this isn't really a role playing game, but it is in fact kind of a game, and that is the Lone Wolf by Joe Denver. And this is basically a series of books, which it's kind of like your choose your own adventure. So while it's just me playing, the idea is when you complete a story, your character actually gets more powerful. So it's like a choose your own adventure, but it's got combat in it, and it's written pretty well. And it is a fun style of series. I've got like probably 20 of these. I don't know if I've got the entire series. I think I'm missing like 1 or 2 within. I'm sure I got more than 20 of them, but I've got quite a few of these books, and they're a lot of fun, and they're a lot of fun to read over, and to just play and get into, and and they're just, I mean, look, I mean, definitely these maps definitely come in handy too when you're playing these games. Now I got to point out, whenever I'm using this, I don't actually use their random roll system, which what you're supposed to do is close your eyes and drop a pencil down. Now I just roll a 10-sided die to roll this. So this is quite fun. And this is definitely my number 2. Now my number 1 is, this is my all-time favorite game, and I really don't have a lot of time to explain this, but I'll try to do it as best I can. And that is TSR Marvel Universe. Now I know that there are people out there who like other superhero games. This is my favorite not only superhero game, but my favorite role-playing game. It was probably one of the first role-playings I ever got into. In fact, it was the first role-playing game that I ever got into, and that is why that is my number 1. And it's, if it wasn't for uh, that I probably would never even got into this hobby. And this is Local Diablo reminding you that devil's in details.